Hey guys, Janelle here with Design Dish, and we are recording our 9th episode where we're doing our last episode in the Design Your Own Project series. And today we're talking about installation and styling. Installation is the term that we use here in the industry, which basically means that once we place all of the orders for furniture and everything going into the space, it's the day that we have everything delivered and installed. If you watch HGTV, first of all, HGTV makes this look so easy, and it kills me because it's not easy. But that's kind of the sense that reveal day, that's really what the installation is. So it's a day that we all look forward to. It's very exciting as designers to see the day where all of our hard work comes to fruition. And in your own design project, it's the day that you're gonna start to see the same thing. So from an installation perspective, you're going to start with your design plan, pull out the space plan that we did in a previous episode, and use your scale and determine where all of the elements are gonna go in the space prior to them being delivered. You're going to determine where those are, and you're gonna use a little bit of painter's tape to make marks on the floor. So you wanna know exactly where your rug is gonna go before it arrives and before you lay it down. It's really easy. Just take off a little piece of tape and mark off. If you're using your scale, you will be able to determine how far off of the wall of each side of the room you need to place your rug. And that's really important. You might say, oh, it's 12.5 inches off the wall and my rug is 8 feet by 11.5 inches. So go ahead and mark that exactly with small pieces of tape so that when you lay out your rug, or when it's delivered and someone else is laying out your rug, you know exactly where it's supposed to go. Then you're gonna wanna do the same thing with your furnishings, and you're gonna take little pieces based on the sizes of the pieces of furniture where they're supposed to go so that they're placed properly. When you get them into the room, you may realize that they're a little, that may need to tweak a little bit, and that's okay. We do that in our real design projects as well from a professional perspective, and that's okay because there's something different when you're in the space. Sometimes it feels like it needs to be a little cozier. We might move it forward a few inches, and that's nothing to worry about. So once you get all of your pieces in and placed in the room, the next step is the styling part, which we love. It's one of our favorite parts of the design project. Styling essentially means that you're really making it come alive with accessories and creating a personality within the space beyond the furnishings. This could be artwork, it could be styling or accessorizing your bookshelves. You really want to start by thinking about all of the surfaces in your space. So that could be an end table, could be a coffee table, it could be a console, it could be bookshelves. Bookshelves are really a great place to do some amazing styling. And if you go back to our very first episode on color, remembering the color rule, the 60-30-10 color rule, this is typically where that 10% comes in. So if you know in your color palette, and if you haven't seen that episode, definitely go back and watch that. But if you know in your color palette you want to bring in a color that kind of balances the rest of the colors in the space, then this is a place to do it. Maybe it's little vases or little bowls that bring in that other color, that 10% color. So once you know and you have an inventory of what you need to style, think about how you're going to live in the space. What are you going to be doing and what do you need to have access to? For example, let's say you're in your living room and you have beautiful built-ins and you know that you want to store some blankets for your sofa, but you have open shelving and you don't really want to throw them in there. So we want to get some beautiful woven baskets that we can place inside of the built-ins and then put the blankets inside of that. So that would be a really beautiful way to accessorize, have a very clean aesthetic, but it's also very functional. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow you to have a list of things that you need to purchase, and you're gonna already know the dimensions, so keep that handy. It's a little bit type A, I kind of like that, where you wanna know, well, how big is the surface, so that if you go to buy a tray to go on your coffee table, you're not buying one that's 3 inches too long. So you wanna know the dimensions of the surfaces, and put a list of the things together you think you wanna put onto that. A lot of things that we typically do in our styling, especially for coffee tables, we love to stack books, we love to use fresh greens. A lot of times we'll stack books and then put something on top of the book, such as a little vessel and sometimes some beads hanging out or something that adds a little bit of texture. So it's really fun to style your coffee table. And it is an art. It's one of those things that takes a lot of practice. So definitely keep trying things, play around with it, and it will evolve over time. So definitely play around with that. We will do another episode down the road, a little bit more in depth on styling your coffee table and your bookshelves. But that's a high level overview of how to go through the installation and the styling process for your own design project. I hope you found that helpful, and I really look forward to your questions. Keep them coming in for upcoming episodes of Design Dish, and we'll see you next time.